Hey, how y'all doing? It's Sharonda, and I'm here to talk about a book, and that book is For Her Safety by Drea Anderson. Thank you so much to the author for letting me read it ARC. I appreciate it because I enjoyed this book right here. Okay, let's get into this thing. So, this is the second book in the Knight Brothers series. This is also a novella length book. This is Silas's story, the oldest brother, the eldest. Okay. So, if you read the previous book in the series, then you know that for the last 7 years, Silas has been looking for his daughter. Okay. Fast forward to now, he must unsuspectingly runs into her and her adoptive mom Mila at one of his family's businesses. Now, when Silas sees this little girl, he automatically knows that this is his baby. This is his daughter. But instead of rushing into the situation, he wants to find out about Mila, who is her adoptive mom, who she's with, okay, and how Soraya, which is the daughter's name, Yaya for short, came to be with her. So let me tell y'all some things I enjoyed about this book, which was a whole lot. So first of all, I really did enjoy that the author didn't do a whole lot of back and forth between Silas and Mila when it came to the situation with Yaya. Okay, Mila understood that Silas has never seen his daughter, hasn't seen her until that day he saw her at the store. Okay, so she wasn't trying to keep this child away from her father, and Silas understood that Mila and Yaya already had this built family, this built relationship, and he wasn't trying to come and bust that up. Okay, so I like that they decided to sit down, have a conversation, and come up with a way that they can raise Yaya as their, as their child, without all the back and forth. Okay, because again, if you read the series, if you haven't, I'm side on you, but anyway, then you know that Silas is a big deal in the series. He's a senator. He's also like this liaison between humans and shifters, because in this series, honey, humans and shifters, they ain't getting along too well, honey. It's like fuck you, okay. But anyway, so Silas is like the go-between to smooth things out, just keep things cool. Okay, so Mila has a right to her reservations. She doesn't want Silas to come in and bust up her family, but also Silas has a right to his child. That's his child. And I'm glad that they had to sit down and be like, what can we do here? Okay. Also, I loved seeing Silas as somebody's daddy on page in this story. He was such a softie, a big old mushy putty cat when it came to Yaya when he was given this chance to be in her life. I love seeing the softening of Black male characters in romances, okay? And Silas Knight is no different. He was amazing on page when it came to Yaya, and I really did appreciate the fact that for a majority of this book, we do see a building of a relationship between Silas and his daughter, because again, the man ain't seen her in 7 years, okay? So I do appreciate the fact that we do see a building of a relationship between Silas and his daughter, and then, a relationship between him and her adoptive mom, Mila. So just the softening of him, seeing him so gentle and so loving, and so amazing with his daughter on page was just great, because, some of these folks be trying to do Black men wrong in these romance streets. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But Silas Knight was just, had me tearing up a little bit, girl. Had me tearing up. But, okay. Also, love Soraya on page, his daughter. She was just, when she came on page, she stole the scenes. Stole Silas's heart, stole his family's heart. She is just an amazing, precocious, beautiful little girl on paper. Loved her. All right. Now, the situation between him and Mila, honey. Now, I know some of you girls like to tussle when it comes to instant romance in these romance streets. But trust me, I do feel like it worked for this read, especially given the fact that Silas and Mila had decided to come together and raise Yaya, right? So the more they spend time with with each other raising this little girl, the more feelings start creeping in, and then it's like, I like you, you like me, we like we, what we gonna do, honey? Okay, and once the green light said go, it was on. Okay, I loved Silas and Mila's chemistry on page. I think they were just very comfortable. Once they allowed themselves to be, they were very comfortable with each other, comfortable with their situation. So it was really easy for them to fall in love and, decide not just to co-parent this little girl, but to be her parents fully, as a sexy little couple. And trust me, the sexy times was sexing, okay? Because I was like, child, this is one. I'm just gonna read one interest from the book. This just had me about to tear up. Okay, so this is Silas talking to Mila, just trying to, comfort her and get her to realize that, he's not trying to take anything from her. But anyway, he says, the security you need, the love you crave, I can give you all that shit, Mila. Just give me your heart and let me worry about everything else. Listen, bitch. I was like, Mila, give up the draws. Give them up. You just have to. Because the man talking to you like that, anyway, love them on page together. That man. Whew. But anyway, so now you guys know I love Drea Anderson and her family dynamics. Her Black family dynamics in the Nights are no different. It was great seeing Mason and Celine on page again. Adina and her fine ass husband Dallas, who are their parents on page. The Nights are very much a black ass family, okay? And I love that they ribbed each other, loved on each other. She just does that really, really good in her stories, and it always makes me excited to read her books, because I know I'm gonna get some blackity families. I know we're gonna get people talking shit to each other, fighting each other, loving on each other. I know we're gonna get that, and I appreciate it. So yes, it was good being in the Night family again. Ooh, I wish it was real, because I'll fight my way up in there. But anyway, but loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. Now, we do see tension on page between the Nights and the Robinsons, who are Yaya's adopted mom's family. There, again, if you read the series, there's always been tension between the Robinsons and the Nights, and you have to read the series to understand why. And there's a sprinkle of the tension throughout the read. Like I said, it's not a lot on page because, again, for me, I think having more of a building of a relationship between Dallas and his daughter, and then between him and Mila, worked for this particular story, okay? So that tension that we see between them and the Robinsons and their conniving little ways that we read throughout this story, it's sprinkled throughout the book, which for me works, okay? We see it more at the end, where it's a big scene at the end between the Robinsons and the Nights, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I was excited to read that part. I was excited. I ain't going to say too much, but I love action, child. And I was just like, ooh, had me excited up in here. But anyway, but I enjoyed this book. Now, I do feel like the ending, it felt a little bit rushed to me. It was complete, but not it read as complete, but not completely complete, if that makes sense, okay? I did want to know what else happened to the Robinsons once we got past that ending, before the epilogue. But once I sat with it a little bit, I was like, what? F them people. I don't care about them people. Yeah. But outside of that, I enjoyed this read. I love dipping my toe back into the series, into the Knight brothers and their family, and adding Mila and Yaya was just great. I think they are a great addition to this family. And what I say is, when this book comes out on December 28th, y'all high-key get it in your eyeballs. Read it. Download it. You're going to enjoy it. All right? Yeah. Woo. Child, them Nights. Them brothers, child. I'm like, child. Sexy and that daddy. Man. But yeah, check this series out when it's check this book out when it's released on the 28th for her safety. Mason's book, the first book, is already out, which is the youngest brother. Their parents, Dallas and Adina. If you sign up for the author's newsletter, you can get that story in your hand. If you love older couples and romance, definitely check out their book, especially Dallas and his fine ass self.